Hello, my name is Andrea, and this is Starlight Stories for Magical Children. Here you will find a collection of stories that were told to me from storytellers from magical realms, the animal kingdom, and nature. I am delighted to share these stories with you, and maybe as you listen, you'll find that life really is magical, and so are you. Our storyteller this week is Bee. I was so happy to receive this story. It came at a most unexpected time. I was sitting outside on a rather warm spring day, and she came right up to me and started to tell me the story of how she found Nectar when she first came out of the ground, waking up from her long winter's nap. Before I share her story with you, there is one thing I do have to say. Some of you may already know bees see color differently than humans. For example, from what I understand, they don't really see the color red, and yellow looks a little bit like light green, and they're mainly guided to flowers through ultraviolet light that we can't see, but bees can see. But for the sake of this story, and to encourage you to imagine right along with me, the bee is going to see color like you and I see color. So let's begin. Little bee blinks her eyes open. The warmth of the sun has woke her up. Until this point, she spent her entire life underground. First hatching in the fall, then slowly growing, and then stopping growing and waiting through the winter in her little burrow chamber. But now, feeling the warmth of the sun permeate the soil, it's almost like a switch was flipped on. She begins to move. She wriggles herself out of the ground. And wow, she is immediately blasted by a bright beam of sunlight. It's almost disorienting for her to go from the darkness of the underground to the bright light of the sun, but she is loving it. Still feeling a little groggy and sleepy, she takes a moment to adjust to these new conditions. She airs out her wings as a gentle breeze blows across her little bee body. As she rests on the ground, she takes in her surroundings. She's already scanning, looking for a source of food. Something inside her tells her she will need nectar soon. But as she looks around, all she sees is green. She turns her head. Green. She looks the other way. More green. She looks behind her. Wait, one pop of color, one burst of yellow. She starts to buzz. She's found food. She's found a source of pollen, too. She's ready to go. She lets the wind lift her up, and she flies towards the source of food. It's a dandelion. She already knows that this food isn't necessarily her preferred food, and that later on she'll have other choices. But for now, she is so grateful for these early bloomers. She lands on the flower of the dandelion, and she takes her first sip of nectar. And while she's doing that, she collects a little pollen on her body. She feels energy growing inside of her. She knows it won't be enough. She flies up and looks around, noticing that there aren't any more yellow flowers, starting to feel worried, wondering where is she going to find more nectar and pollen. Most flowers still have not bloomed at this time. She's wondering how far she'll have to fly to find more. But where there is one dandelion, there's usually more. She begins to fly. She keeps looking, but all she sees is green. Everywhere is green. She's wondering if this dandelion she found is truly the only one. She keeps flying, feeling that worried feeling begin to creep up even more. But she continues on, humming her buzzy little hum as she flies, all while searching and scanning the ground for any signs of flowers. Up ahead, the bee sees another burst of yellow, another dandelion. She buzzes a little louder and flies a little faster, eager for more nectar and pollen. But before she gets there, a tall figure appears and blocks her view. It moves away, but now the dandelion is gone. She decides to keep flying towards where she thought she saw the dandelion, but once she arrives, all that was left was a little hole in the ground. The dandelion plant was gone. She spent the rest of the day flying around, looking for more dandelions. She did find 2 more, which was much needed to help her regain her energy. But as the day drew to a close, she knew she would need to rest, and so she flew home. She was feeling discouraged and a little worried that there wouldn't be enough food. But all she could do was try again tomorrow. After resting through the night, she woke again to the sunlight. And when her little bee eyes opened and looked around, she found herself in the middle of a field of dandelions. She couldn't believe it. Just yesterday, there was only one, but now a whole field. She buzzed in excitement and joy as she went from dandelion to dandelion to dandelion, taking in all the nectar she needed, collecting pollen as she went, and even meeting a few more bee friends who were there at the field as well. As Bee moved from flower to flower, she reflected on the day before and laughed to herself as she remembered just how worried she was she wouldn't have what she needed, only to wake up and discover more flowers than she could visit in a day. So from that day on, Bee always trusted that she would find what she needed. And she did. The